New Jersey. New Jersey. New Jersey.
Today, I will do whatever it takes to become successful. The more I learn, the smarter I become. Today, I will become smarter. We go and say good morning to the pumpkins, because the way they start is the way they will finish. So, very good. So, let our pumpkins know that they matter, and because they matter. Good morning, Cosetta, good morning. I am. What a pleasure. What a pleasure, I know. So here, and I know RJ is waiting on AAA, so good morning, baby. I asked Mr. Allen to help, and Natalie said that she'd be waiting right. Oh, got it. Yeah. Sounds good, thank you. Absolutely. Copacetic morning. Copacetic morning. Good. Copacetic morning. This is my grand student. I had his mommy like 18 years ago. Copacetic morning, copacetic morning, copacetic morning. I matter. Period. Yes. 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 I want to hear it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, baby. Yes. Yes, you do. Yes. Sweetheart, come here.
I asked him to take his hood off twice.
Thank you. He's gonna come back and do it right. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me, because you have self-control. Look at me. No, look at my eyes for real. No. Walk all the way down. Apologize to Ms. Barroso and take it out. And come back correctly. Otherwise, this is mine. I'll hold it until you come back. You think about that. That's a great question. Come back and let's talk about why you would apologize. Copacetic morning, please.
Good morning.
No problem, but he is going to do it right. Well, but Ms. Barroso, he is going to come down and follow directions.
No problem. I have children that are looking at you, acting disrespectful. So I'm not going to be waiting for you and listen to that.
Yeah.
Just like yesterday when you came down here, you waited up in the hall until I had to call security to get you down here. You're an 8th grader. Get your life.
No, look at me really. I'm being really serious. You're having a bad day. This isn't you. Thank you for being a respectful young man that I know you are. Take your back out. Copacetic morning. Yes, please. Yes. Hold on 1 second. I want to pay attention to it. Copacetic morning. She's also my grand student. Had her mommy 21 years ago. Have a good one. All right, Faith, grab your food real quick. I want to speak to John. I'm confused. Walk in here with me. Copacetic morning, baby. How are you? Good. Thank you. Copacetic morning. Is a burden, and so I always want kids to know I'm so excited you're here. Dang it, I want you to be on time, but I'm glad you're here. Copacetic morning. And this is one of my young ladies. And tell me what commitment did you make? What commitment did you make?
I came to school 2 weeks straight.
Say it again.
I came to school 2 weeks straight.
2 weeks straight? Yes, I'm proud of you. So a little late, but you're going to be even more on time tomorrow. So go ahead and take your coat off. I'll hold your backpack. So you can take it off and then get quickly into class. Did you have something to eat?
Yes.
You ate it. All right. Glad you're here, Donald. Get right to class. 2 weeks straight. Proud of you. Keep it up. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing the right thing. And so for the kids, and I'm also learning. It's a good thing. I'm getting kind of smarter every year. This is my 21st year. My 21st year in Newark Public Schools, and so I know that's not a clap from everybody, because I know how loud my clap is. We're going to do that again, and I want a clap from everybody. Mr. Harris or Mr. Savage, if the clap isn't there, please bring them here. I need to practice with them. We know that toxic stress, we know that ACE scores, adverse childhood experiences, affect a child gravely. Their brains are on high alert, emergency at all times, and it's that frontal lobe, and if you're worried and having problems.
Sorry, can I email Ardino really quick just to check on the Chromebook cards?
Yep. Yep. Then of course there's no room for just thinking. And so this year we have worked very hard on trying to figure out how to support our children and to allow their brains to come to a place of relaxation and calm so that they actually have space to think. And so we will be taking Park in 21 days. Is our countdown for our 7th and 8th grade. And so there's so much, but we're working very hard. And so, for example, this year we've done, that's why we do the DOLs every single day, to then lead up to the unit assessments, that then if you do well on the unit assessments, allegedly, because they are hopefully aligned to the park, so that then when they take the park, they will improve. There are some children that are so devastatingly below, because on Park you can score 1 to 5, and so if, for example, children were on a 1 last year, of course you want them to get to a 5, but if we can get them to a 3, so that in the following year they can pass. If a child gets a 4 or a 5, they pass. And so what we've had to determine is we've had to rip everything away and say, okay, let's rip away, what do these scores really mean? What does the score really mean? What does it mean? What are your deficiencies? And what do we need to work on? So we've been working specifically on those. Like when our 7th grade children, for example, last year had a substitute all year long. And
so this is now the 8th graders?
So this will now be this year's 8th grade. And they do have a teacher this year. It's a brand new teacher who just, this is his first year teaching. And there's all sorts of difficulties, but the point is we've got to do it. All right, we can't let our kids fail, because what happens, it affects their entire life trajectory. So it's so significant. So significant. Yeah, it's not just a score. I mean, shoot, for teachers and principals, I mean, so you get the score, but it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that, because every score is attached to a child, and every child has a life that they get to live. And if we send them out in this world completely ill-equipped, they will never be able to compete. And it's just absolutely unacceptable. So we have to figure it out. We don't have an option. But granted, it's slow going, and so granted, it might mean, and we've even, mapped some stuff out that for some kids, because they're like, if they're in 7th grade and they're reading on a 2nd grade, reading level, we've mapped it out that, okay, so by the time they're in 10th grade, if we do this and this and this, then I'm not going to see the results. But in 10th grade, that child will see the results, and that's the point. So it's not going to, show up on Brookhaven's scores, but that really doesn't matter. The point is, are we putting kids on a trajectory so that they will be able to make it? And the cool thing is, so if you're able to keep those kids, then you really can make sure that the travesty is when they transfer or they go elsewhere. And
where are most of the students ending up for high school?
Well, they can choose. I had kids, we had an advisory this year. I had a group of 5 students in my advisory, and we really encourage our children to sit down and to talk with their parents. And we look at the scores. So in my group, I had kids applying for Central High School, Shabazz, Science, University, Bard. Some kids, they have family members, and so maybe they chose different charter high schools. So with the One Newark, they just rate what they want, and then we get back. They'll find out, I guess, probably the end of April, where they will be able to go. And that's just for the 8th grade. But so for all the rest of the children, I need them to stay right here. I need them not to go any other place, because we have a specific plan for every child, and they got to get it. They've got to get bite-sized pieces. And if they go somewhere else, and sometimes just because of life, if they have to move somewhere else, or if they move down south, or if they move to another state, or if they go to another place in the city, then they have to start all over again, and teachers have to start all over with them. And so I need my babies to stay so that we can figure this thing out, because if it doesn't, we can't lose. We can't lose, because this is their life. So, yep. But so we're going to do it. And so, but that's why the daily DOL, and with just bite-sized pieces. That's how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. Because some of the cases, it's so overwhelming, and it's like, how can we get there? And it's one day at a time. Okay, let's work on what can we do today. What can we do today? And that's why it's so crucial. Like the little girl who was like, Miss Haygood, I've come for 2 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? Oh, baby. And that's, yes, like that's a given, but for her, that's a big deal. And so then when you're here, I've got great teachers. And then the teachers can pour in, but if you're not here, and when you're late, then you're missing out on pieces. But the first step is getting them here, getting them to want to be here, making learning irresistible, so that they're like, I'm not going to miss a minute, But that's a process.